This 100-year-old Japanese breathing ritual is one you do not want to miss. Stress after 60 doesn't just fade on its own, it settles into the body. The chest tightens, the breath shortens, and before you know it, your heart forgets what calm feels like. Pills may dull the feeling, but they rarely restore the rhythm your body is craving, that slow, balanced breath that once came naturally. And in a recent episode, we explored how posture affects energy and sleep, and the response was incredible. So today, Japan's oldest living doctor returns with something even simpler, a method passed quietly through generations, using only your hands and breath. This ancient Japanese practice has helped thousands of seniors steady their pulse and reduce tension without any medication. So welcome back to the Senior Health Podcast. In this episode, Japan's oldest doctor will show you how to use this centuries-old breathing ritual to relax your body in real time and explain why so many seniors unknowingly breathe in ways that keep their stress alive. Doctor, welcome. I think this breathing ritual might be even older as you are.
It just might be, John, and I've been waiting to share it. Because breath isn't only about survival, it's a mirror for how balanced the body truly is. When it becomes shallow or rushed, that's not weakness, it's the body's way of asking for peace.
That completely changes how we think about stress. Most of us treat it like a mental problem, something to fix with distraction or medication. But you're saying it's really physical, that the body is trying to tell us something deeper.
Exactly. After 60, the nervous system slows its response to calm. The breath becomes trapped in the chest, and the muscles around it tighten without us noticing. But that cycle can be broken, and within a few minutes I am exactly going to tell you how.
I can't wait to hear this one, doctor.
We'll be using a simple hand-breath coordination, just your fingers, your lungs, and a few moments of attention. And each step retrains the body to send a message of safety to the brain. I promise you will feel it before you even realize it's happening. But before we start, we'd love to hear from you. Let us know in the comments whether you are new to the channel, and if not, let us know for how long you have been following us.
It's always so nice to see when people have been following for quite a while already. It makes this feel so personal. Now, doctor, before you start demonstrating the actual techniques, please tell us, what makes this simple hand breath technique so powerful that even the oldest Japanese masters still teach it today?
Because after 60, John, the body and mind stop communicating as quickly as they once did. The heart races, but the breath doesn't follow. The signals that once balance stress and calm start to misfire, like an orchestra, without its conductor.
That's such a vivid image, doctor. It's like the body is still playing, but the rhythm's gone.
Exactly. Over the years, small habits begin to change that rhythm. Less movement, more shallow breaths, more time sitting and worrying. The lungs tighten, and oxygen flow decreases just enough to make the brain believe something is wrong. That's when anxiety quietly replaces ease.
And most people never realize that it's physiological, not just emotional. They start blaming themselves for feeling weak or restless when it's really their body trying to adapt.
You're right. The aging nervous system becomes slower to return to baseline after stress. The adrenal glands release hormones longer. The vagus nerve, which tells the body it's safe, becomes less responsive. But here's the beautiful part. It can be retrained. Even in your 70s or 80s, the body can learn calm again.
That's remarkable, doctor. It gives hope to anyone who feels trapped in their own tension. It means the door to peace never fully closes.
No, it doesn't. The secret lies in rhythm. Breath in, breath out, the pulse following softly behind. The Japanese call this kokyu, which means not just breathing, but harmony between body and spirit. It's why monks and physicians for centuries have used simple breathing rituals to balance emotions and even blood pressure. These practices slow the nervous system so that peace becomes not a moment, but a state.
And yet so many of us lose touch with that. We go years without taking a single intentional breath.
Yes. And when that happens, the breath moves higher into the chest, faster, shallower, anxious. The body starts confusing safety with danger. Over time, this creates what I call false alarms of the heart. The key is to teach the breath to lead again, not follow.
That's such a powerful idea, that calm isn't something we chase but something we remember.
Exactly, John. The body doesn't forget calm, it just forgets how to listen for it. When we restore that listening through touch, breath, and rhythm, we bring the body back into conversation with itself. That's where the real healing begins. And in just a bit, I'll show you the first step to rekindling that conversation.
It feels like we're getting close to something deeply important here. I'm thinking about all the listeners who've tried to relax but couldn't. Maybe because they were trying too hard. Maybe they were listening to the mind, not the body. So if that's the case, doctor, how do we start teaching the body to listen again?
We begin by simplifying, John. We remove effort from the act of breathing, because trying to control it only tightens it more. Instead, we notice it, where it sits, how it feels, how it changes without our command. Awareness is the first teacher.
That makes sense, doctor. You can't fix what you haven't yet learned to feel.
Exactly. Most people live from the neck up, thinking their way through stress, while their body waits unheard. The Japanese approach reverses that order. We return awareness to the body, to the breath, and let the mind follow later. It's a kind of surrender, not in weakness, but in wisdom.
I like that distinction, surrender as wisdom. It feels more like cooperating with the body than fighting against it.
Yes, that's the essence of it. When you watch a calm person breathe, their belly rises softly, the shoulders barely move. That's how we're born breathing. The diaphragm expands fully, massaging the heart and digestive organs. Each breath becomes a small reset button, signaling safety with every exhale.
It's incredible how natural that sounds, and how far most of us have drifted from it. You can almost feel how aging compresses that rhythm, how tension moves higher into the chest.
That's right. By the time many people reach 60, the breath has become shallow, like a visitor rather than a friend. The muscles around the ribs grow tight. The body holds its breath without even realizing it. It's like bracing for a danger that never comes. And when the body is always bracing, the mind can never rest.
That's a powerful image, doctor. The idea that stress is just the body forgetting it's safe.
It is. So before we talk about technique, we must rebuild that foundation. The way we sit, the way we hold our hands, the way the breath moves without strain. In Japan, we say that calm posture invites calm breath. You cannot separate one from the other. The moment posture opens, the breath deepens naturally.
It's almost poetic. Posture teaching breath, breath teaching peace.
Yes, John, because posture isn't about appearance, it's communication. A collapsed chest tells the body it's in danger, but an open one says you can rest. When we combine that with touch and timing, we create a signal so strong that even the oldest nervous system begins to respond. That's where the true technique begins.
That's beautiful, doctor. It makes me wonder, if this foundation alone can change how the body feels, what happens when we add rhythm to it? When we move from simply noticing the breath to actually guiding it? I think everyone listening is ready to understand what that looks like in practice. So if you could please start explaining that now.
Then let us begin, John. The beauty of this method is in its simplicity. You don't need incense, music, or even silence. Only a few minutes, your hands, and your breath. Let's start with posture. Sit upright or lie down comfortably. Let your shoulders drop, your jaw loosen, and your tongue rest softly against the roof of your mouth. This tells the body it's safe to relax.
That small detail already makes a difference. I can feel my chest open just hearing you describe it.
Good. Now, place one hand over your chest and the other over your stomach. Take a moment to notice which one moves more when you breathe. Most adults, especially after 60, breathe mainly into the chest. The goal is to reverse that, to make the hand on your stomach rise first, slowly and softly. That's how the diaphragm starts to lead again.
That's a great visual cue. So people should feel their lower hand lift first, right? Not force it, just allow it.
Exactly, John. You don't push the breath down, you invite it. Think of it as filling a cup from the bottom. As you inhale through your nose, imagine warm air flowing into the belly, spreading up into the ribs, and finally into the chest. Then take one small extra sip of air at the end. Just a tiny top-up. This is the start of what we call cyclic breathing.
And on the exhale, how slow should it be?
Slower than what feels natural at first. Exhale gently through your mouth for about 10 seconds, as if fogging a window. Let the air flow continuously. No pauses, no strain. Feel your shoulders drop and your heartbeat start to follow. Each exhale sends a message through the vagus nerve. You are safe. You can rest now. After about 5 to 10 of these, most people feel this pulse slow and their mind soften.
That's incredible. You can almost imagine tension leaving the body with every breath. For listeners who might have weaker lungs or feel lightheaded easily, how should they adjust?
Good question. You can shorten the cycle. Maybe a 2-second inhale, a brief extra sip, and a 6-second exhale. The ratio matters more than the count. Always keep the exhale longer than the inhale. And if you ever feel dizzy, pause, smile gently, and breathe normally until the body settles. This isn't a test. It's a conversation.
That's such a compassionate way to look at it. So once someone feels comfortable with that first rhythm, what's the next step?
Then we introduce the 4-7-8 rhythm, the deeper reset. Inhale through the nose for 4 counts, hold for 7, and exhale softly through the mouth for 8. It's important to keep your tongue lightly pressed against the roof of your mouth during the exhale. That small pressure creates resistance, slowing the breath and calming the heart. Imagine you're releasing all the day's noise through that long, steady sigh.
It sounds like this is the moment where the whole nervous system surrenders. That long exhale seems to do something profound.
Yes, because during that hold, those 7 seconds, the body finds stillness. Oxygen levels rise and the heart rate naturally steadies. When you exhale, carbon dioxide increases slightly, which helps blood vessels open and improves circulation. It's physiology wrapped in mindfulness. With each round, tension drains and clarity takes its place.
How long should people practice this, doctor? I can imagine some listeners might be eager to know how many rounds to do.
Start with 4 full cycles, twice a day, morning and evening. If you can, practice before meals or before bed. Over time, you'll notice that your body starts to anticipate calm the moment you begin. The breath becomes a conditioned cue, a built-in medicine. In Japan, we say that when the breath learns peace, the heart no longer has to shout.
That's such a poetic truth, and I suppose as people improve, they can increase the number of rounds gradually, right?
Yes. The goal isn't endurance, it's awareness. Some of my patients even do a single breath at their desk before an argument or when waking up at night. One good breath, done fully, is better than 100 distracted ones. What matters is presence, and with consistency, the body begins to associate these breaths with safety. That's when healing deepens.
That's so grounding, doctor. Just listening to this, I can feel my shoulders letting go, like the body knows exactly what to do once you stop interfering.
Exactly, John. That's the wisdom we forget with age. That calm isn't something to earn, it's something to return to. When you give the body permission through these simple breaths, it begins repairing itself. Blood pressure eases, muscles soften, digestion improves, and sleep comes easier. These are the silent gifts of rhythm.
It's powerful, isn't it? How a few minutes of guided breathing can bring the body back from years of tension and exhaustion.
It is powerful and humbling, because what we're really doing is reuniting the two halves of ourselves, the part that rushes and the part that remembers stillness. Each breath becomes a small reunion, each exhale a letting go, each pause a reminder that we were never broken, only hurried.
That's one of the most profound things you've said tonight, Doctor. It makes me think, if breath can mend the gap between body and mind, what happens when we carry that calm into everyday life? How can this new rhythm shape the way we move, think, and connect beyond the breath itself?
The breath is where all healing begins, John. It's the one rhythm that stays with us from birth until our final moment. When we learn to honor it again, peace stops being temporary. It becomes our natural state.
That's such a grounding thought, Doctor. Every time we talk, I'm reminded that the simplest practices often hold the deepest power. For so many of our listeners, this may be the first time they've stopped to notice their own breath all day. Before we wrap up, could you leave everyone with a single line, something to carry into their next inhale?
Of course. When the breath softens, the heart remembers home. That's all calm really is, remembering where we belong.
That's beautiful, and to everyone listening, we need you to comment. Comments gives us more interaction, helping our videos reach more people like yourself. Tell us what country you are watching from, or your age, we love to know.